Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
I was deep in it, gaming on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Unfolding the screen made it twice as big and so immersive, I kinda lost myself. Might have trolled a little too close to the sun. Someone in the chat told me to touch grass, so I took my Z Fold 7 outside and kept playing. Still won, got a tan, and a nice little reset. Powerful processor, realistic graphics, you stay locked in, streak stays alive. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
This is another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
My hands wet on the wheel. There's a voice in my head that drives my heel. It's my baby calling, says I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting gear. When she's lonely and the longing gets too much, she says the cable coming in from above. Don't need to fault at all. We've got a thing that's a whole red I love. We've got a wave in the air. Red I love.
Good morning, family. Good morning. Hello. How are y'all? Welcome to another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormack, here on 77 WABC. Still can't believe I'm saying that. I still cannot believe. I can believe. I'm just still absolutely chuffed, as my wife would say. My beautiful British bombshell wife from Liverpool, she would say, "Oh, I'm dead chuffed. I am made up," as they say in the UK, that I'm here, the crown jewel, the biggest and the greatest in all the land, as Curtis likes to say, the place to be. Here, 77 WABC, 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222 on this Saturday morning. It's 2:07 here on the corner of 49th and 3rd. And the reason that song plays is because it is, it was my overnight song that I would pick up the pace. That Radar Love. That was, for some reason, one of the songs, but in particular because it wasn't on in constant rotation. Back in the day when I was a stand-up comic and working around the country and driving, every state, every contiguous state, all 48, I'd been in by car. And I would just be out there booking overnight. Used to do all my driving in between gigs overnight. And so to all you guys out there and gals, all you people, everybody in the family who's listening, I always say, God, hit it now. You got that song. Go ahead. This is your cue. If you're on the turnpike, if you're on the parkway, if you're on the thruway, if you're on the expressway, punch it. Okay. Don't. All right. Okay. Because I got to say, every once in a while, you get a little yank of the collar. Every once in a while, the universe, God, the long arm of the law reaches up and whoop, whoop, whoop. And so that's, tonight I got yanked over because for about 6 or 7 minutes, I was part of the problem. That's the best way that I can distill this. I was on the Taconic, and if you're familiar with the Taconic in Westchester, it's dark. And clearly, the phone lines are open. You know where I'm going, okay? Anything that you wish to relate on this subject of being pulled over or your interactions with the law, 1-800-848-9222. That's the number, 1-800-848-9222. So I'm on the Taconic. I'd say it was about 5 to 11, maybe quarter to 11, give or take. Loads of traffic tonight. Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees lose again. Last night, by the way, Friday night, it's about quarter to 11, and I'm zipping on the Taconic. And it's one thing to zip, and it's another thing to be a bit petulant. Now, I was definitely impatient and petulant. I always go with the flow of traffic. I don't crazy speed. I definitely go above the speed limit like everybody else, but I have a wife and daughters, and I take it very seriously, and I never drive dangerous. Never. I don't want to say never, because tonight I was driving, I think, a little dangerously. I was. This guy wouldn't have pulled me over if I wasn't. And there I am, arguably look, I wasn't one of those, Mitsubishi, whatever. I wasn't tailgating. I was darting in and out of the lanes a little bit too much. Now, would I have been having the same conversation with you? Would I be dropping a dime on myself and coming in here and saying and reflecting on how I was driving at a quarter to 11 last night on my way to here at corner 49th and 3rd? Would I? No, it would be unremarkable, because if I wasn't pulled over, I wouldn't be talking about it. And again, 1-800, if we could open up the phones, 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. So in other words, it's funny, and we're going to have our recovery time, our recovery hour, our sober time, whatever you want to talk about, our sober conversation later on this morning. But I remember one time getting pulled over. I've been pulled over now. This is the third time in 20 years. And the last time was 7 years ago. And the time before that was like 20 years ago. Third time in 20 years been pulled over. And the first time that it happened when in being sober, they were, my sponsor said to me, is the first time you were speeding or the first time you got caught? Yeah, first time I got caught. So I'm zipping, I'm bopping, I'm bobbing and weaving, and I shouldn't have. I was definitely more than usual. And I don't know what, I was definitely tight. I was definitely hyped up. I was definitely, Waze had me rerouting. Again, not excuses, but reasons for my being petulant this last night. And I was definitely anxious, not anxious, but, antsy. And the drive didn't feel right from the beginning. You know what I mean? And I bloop, 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 lights. And being the law-abiding lunatic in a Volvo, the suburban, right over. I get right over, right lane, get that blinker, pull over safely, dome light on, hands on the steering wheel. You have to go, you had the checklist. My wallet was in my briefcase behind me. I was able to deftly grab it in one shot, have my wallet. And good guy. First thing out of my mouth, I apologize. You know why I pulled you up? I was going too fast and I wasn't driving safe. I was back and forth. And, yeah. So, yes, grateful that I got a warning. If you're listening, because he asked me, so where you going? You're going to the city? I said, yes, I do a radio show. And it's a weird time of the day that I do this program. And I said, it's always a bit tense to, leave the house late at night and go and whatever. And I said, none of these are excuses, officer. I said, I hate the fact that I'm the guy that puts you out on the side of the road. I said, because it's dangerous for you to do this. And I wasn't just blowing smoke. It's really how I feel. I really feel that every time I see these guys standing on the side of the road, it drives me nuts. And I felt like such a jerk. I think that was really the big part of it was now I'm the jerk that this guy has to get out of the car as other vehicles are flying by, And yes, in the back of my mind, real lawbreakers. Yeah. But anyway, and so he said, "Oh, I'm not familiar with the radios." I said 77 WABC, and he goes, "Yeah, well, I'm not. I guess, I live out in Long Island. I'm really not familiar with that." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's all over the country. It's all over the world." I'm always promoting the station. It's like, "Oh, you can listen anywhere in the whole world. WABCRadio.com." And yes, little bit cajoling. He asked me, "Can I make the rest of the trip like a rational human being?" I said, "Yes, officer, I promise." And so there we go. So, is it a reality check? Am I going to go so what's it like for you? And if you're listening, is this just another example of the whole, white privilege thing? Did I just experience what I always roll my eyes at when people talk about that whole Caucasian in the suburbs thing? And I'll never, ever know. I'll never, ever, ever know what the experience of other people is like. If I was driving a beat up this or that instead of a pristine, literally a Caucasian Volvo. I'm a Caucasian white dude in a white Caucasian white Volvo. Bill's seen my car. It's white. So am I. So very. So, is there a whole lot of hypocrisy involved in this situation that I described? Every time I hear people talk about, how there's like this is an example of the privilege that I enjoy. Is this an example of that privilege I enjoy? I might be more ready to acknowledge that this time, at this particular juncture, on this particular morning. I might be willing to acknowledge that now. But I do, I do roll my eyes when I hear that phrase. Generally speaking, there are times when I do kind of see the forest through the trees. But is this all one big hypocritical thing? In other words, the fact that I was given a warning, was that because, like I said, I wasn't stupid out there. I just wasn't driving well. And I just did enough to catch his attention, and, he wanted to set me straight. And I deserved it. So where have you been on that? Have you been pulled over for no reason? Have you been pulled over for every single reason in the book and had the book thrown at you, even though you were polite and did everything right? Am I full of it? Because I am a white guy from the suburbs in a Volvo with a cute little, dance school magnet and a student driver bumper sticker, just because I check every single box in the suburban questionnaire. Is it hypocritical of me to continue to roll my eyes even after this refresher moment? First time pulled over in 7 years. I was let go the last time, too. I was let go the last time as well. 7 years ago. Am I? Did I just check the hypocrite box? I'm pretty no, I got the ticket. Did I get the ticket 20 years ago? I might have gotten that ticket. I forget. It was in LA and I was freshly sober. Here's an interesting thing. We can talk about this in the sober hour. I never, ever, ever, ever got pulled over when I was drinking. And I drank and drove. I drinking and driving like a pro. Day and night throughout the valley in Los Angeles. Only by the grace of God, never got pulled over. Because if I had been pulled over, I would have been in jail. Never saw a jail. Never saw the inside of a police precinct. We'll talk about that in the 4 a.m. hour when we talk about sobriety. But am I one hypocritical honky? Am I? So again, have you been pulled over and done everything right and still had the book thrown at you? Have you been out there and been driving on two wheels with giving the world the finger and blasting your music with a blindfold on and headphones, and you and the cops shared a beer on the side of the road and just, it like it never happened? Or is it somewhere in between? Have you been a little bit in contravention of the law, been perfectly reasonable with the officer, and you still got the ticket? What's it been like for you? And again, am I a complete hypocrite? Am I full of it when I roll my eyes? Did I last night, did I last night, in fact, experience the very privilege that so many people shout about, and I roll my eyes over? Did I experience that privilege, or did it go as it should, regardless of what I look like and how I was born? Did it go the way it was supposed to? I drove erratically, not so much dangerously, I don't think. Wasn't tailgating. I wasn't, and again, if the officer did remember that I said about this program, and if he remembers the station, and if you are listening, officer, I'm grateful for the interaction with you. And again, I'm sorry I was that jerk that got you out on the side of the road. I hate when I see the police out on the side of the road. I think it's the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous things that police officers need to do. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-WABC. And so this morning, and now again, we're going to get to Steve and Donna in 1 second. Because I tell you what, if half of this stuff is true about Mayor Adams's right-hand woman, Ingrid Lewis Martin, if half of this stuff is true about boy, what is it with the mayor? Could the timing be any worse for Mayor Adams? Talk about eye rolling. This guy has got to be he just probably just wants to say, you know what? No more deputy mayors. I don't want any more aides. It's going to be me. And I'm going to pick a nun. Me and a nun. That's who's my staff. I want little sisters of the poor. I want the most trustworthy nun who's taken a vow of poverty. She's going to hold my keys. She's going to come around with me in the SUV. Everybody else is fired or just stay away from me. I want a vacuum around me except for Sister Mary Margaret Magdalena from the Little Sisters of the Poor, who has not a need in the world. She sleeps on a cot and eats fish cakes every night before she says her prayers and go to bed. That's who my staff is now, says the mayor. Oh, my Lord. Between the bribes and the intake and the incoming and the outgoing, how much can one administration, can one campaign withstand? This woman, and you always used to see her sitting to the mayor's left in all those press conferences, sitting at the table. They now do those sit down at the table press conferences. And it was him and his staff, Adams sitting there, and he had the one woman on one side of him, and the other woman. This was the moment, the bangs. The one with the bangs and that stern look, that rigid jaw this woman has. Ingrid Lewis Martin, the woman in exchange, allegedly, she's in exchange for services rendered and contracts delivered, et cetera, she got everything from piles of seafood to guest appearances on TV shows. Are you kidding me? So that is a scofflaw. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. Let's get over to line 1. Let's talk to Steve. Oh, line 2. Let's get over to Donna in Huntington. Sorry, Donna in Huntington. Hello there. Good morning, Donna.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, I live in Suffolk County, Long Island, and it's a joke. It's a joke out here. It's a money train, these traffic tickets. You have police now lying now, pulling you over to give you tickets that you didn't even do. I'm not kidding. It happened to me.
What happened?
They got rid of the red light cameras out here, right? So they need to look for another revenue now.
Ah, those red light cameras. Those red light cameras. Hey, 1-800-848-9222. You've been banged by a red light camera? Anybody out there been banged by a red light camera?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Donna.
Hello?
Tell me. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
No, I was going to tell you what happened to me in May, right? I'm on the 495 in Long Island. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon. There's a police officer. It's a three-lane highway.
Yeah.
There's a cop in the middle lane going really, really slow, like 15 miles an hour. And I'm on the right lane, and I'm thinking, like, what is this guy doing, right? He's in, like, one of these police SUVs. So I slow down because I don't know what he's doing. As soon as I go past the guy, he pulls me over, and he goes, do you know what the speed limit is on the expressway? I go, yes, it's 40 the minimum and 55 the highest.
Yeah.
He goes, you were going 35. I go, yeah, because you were going slow. I didn't know what you were doing. He goes, also, I saw you using your phone. I said, excuse me, officer, I wasn't on my phone. I don't know what you saw. He goes, yeah, that's what they all say. Do you know the guy gave me 2 tickets for being on my cell phone and going too slow on the highway?
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I actually went to the point of getting my phone bill proving I wasn't on the phone when I went to the court.
Good for you.
The prosecutor didn't even want to look at it. She goes, no, we don't want to look at that. We have to take the word of the police officer.
Wait a minute. What did the judge say?
Are you kidding?
What did the judge say?
It was so ridiculous. They wanted $480. I said, I don't have that. And she goes, well, okay, come back in 2 months.
Wait a minute.
They just want the money. It's just money.
What did the judge say? I mean, it's one thing for the prosecutor to say we have to take the word of it, but I'm sure the judge had something to say.
I didn't even see a judge because I said I can't pay $480 right now. So all they did is push. They're like, oh, okay, we'll work with you. Well, I'll come back in 2 months. I did it twice. I have to go back.
Wow.
September 24th. I have to go back again September 24th. If you can't pay it, they don't even have a payment plan. They're like, if you go in there and then you say you can't pay it, they're like, okay, come back in 2 months. It's just about making money. It's just a money thing.
You know what? Look, thank you, Donna. Thank you. And listen, call back and tell us after the 24th what happens in the next step. 1-800-848-9222. Let's get over to Michael on line 3. Michael Lynn, good morning.
Hi, yes,
Hey,
this is
Michael Lynn. Yes, Michael Lynn. Oh, it's good to hear you. Yes.
I've spoken with you before.
Yes, I remember.
Now, I'm an old person. I'm 73 now.
Okay.
And when I was a young woman and a very attractive young woman,
Really?
I was driving in a silver Corvette on Route 80 going into Pennsylvania.
Ooh, okay.
And I was speeding.
Ooh.
And at the time, I was wearing...
Tell me. Slowly. Shh. Slow down. Slow down. Tell me.
Teeny weeny, sparkling orange push-up brassiere.
Hold on, Michael Lynn. Hold on, Michael Lynn. Let everybody catch up. Don't go as fast as I was tonight. Hold on. First of all, everybody, we're all being seduced by a 72-year-old woman calling a talk radio show at 2:30 in the morning. Michael Lynn, you were wearing a tiny, itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny push-up brassiere.
Yes.
That's all you were wearing in your Corvette?
I was wearing.
Why?
I was very hot.
Yes, you were. But why
August.
Oh, okay.
And I was very hot.
Okay.
And I'm 73 now.
You're 73.
And I was not. Yes, and I was not 73 at the time. And I didn't have air conditioning on. And
you're killing me. Yeah, go ahead.
The gentleman pulled me over.
I bet he did.
And I rolled the window down because my father had taught me how to be polite to authority on the road.
Yeah.
He told me always to keep my hands on the wheel and to ask for permission to reach for any documentation.
Or anything
so I
whatsoever.
Knew that.
Yes. Yes.
So he looked at me.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he lingered. I'm sure he took a long look.
He took a very long look. And if I'm not mistaken, he licked his lips.
Jesus,
and said,
Michael Lynn!
Do you know that you were speeding at 102 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And I said, I know I was going fast because I'm racing to go to Pennsylvania to get this silver Corvette we call the bitch back to Lycoming, which is where they make the plane engines.
Okay.
And he said, I want you to do me a favor, miss. Please slow down. No one wants to lose you.
Wow, you know what? That's profound. And Michael Lynn, you know what? I got to take a break, but just very quickly, tell me, what did you do for a living back in the day? What did you do?
Oh, I've always worked as a cataloger in Rutgers University Library.
Little did they know that little quiet Michael Lynn with the little voice would drive around, would speed on the weekends in a silver Corvette wearing nothing but a teeny-weeny sparkly bra. Good Lord, Michael Lynn, I want you to call every hour on the hour. All right, it's 2:33 in the morning, 1-800-848-9222 here on 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight with me, TJ McCormick. We're talking about your interactions with the law. And also, you know what? Tell me about this. If there's a cop out there, can we get the definitive answer on this once and for all? Call anonymously, all right? You just call up, put on a fake voice. You want to talk like Michael Lynn, do a Michael Lynn. But tell us, is it true about the whole quota thing? Somebody tell me right now. I don't want to get all the opinions from all the civilians. If you're an officer, is there ever a scenario where you guys have to hit a quota towards the end of the month? That thing all the civilians talk about. 1-800-848-9222. Tell us that and anything else you want to talk about at all, but also your interactions with the law. All right, we'll be right back. All right. Good morning, everyone. 2:38 here on 77 WABC. And let's see. Over on Twitter, X, at TJ McCormick, if you want to drop a note over there, at TJ McCormick. Corn Pops Burner. Corn Pops Burner chimed in. That's their handle on X. And he says, dude, I'm a white guy and got a $135 ticket for no seatbelt in a 25 mile per hour zone. I was polite and cooperative. No warning, no white privilege. All right. Thank you, Corn Pops Burner. I am dying to, I'd love to know how that name came about, other than it's just funny as hell. 1-800-848-9222. I got pulled over on the way last night here for this morning's program on the Taconic Parkway, New York State Trooper. And I wasn't burning it, but I was, darting in and out of traffic. Not even that. I wasn't smooth. And I was definitely enough that this guy was seeing. I think he knew that I was driving like it was bad behavior. I wasn't reckless, but I wasn't good. Now, here's another interesting wrinkle here, by the way. Here I am dropping a dime on myself, right? I'm telling you the truth and I'm living up to it. And again, the big question, two big questions that we've come to is A, is this in fact the privilege that people talk about? White dude in very white Volvo, right? Pull over. Hello there, officer. I was polite, calm, cool, collected. Now, Corn Pops Burner, he got pulled over. You just heard his story. He got popped. Third time I've been pulled over in 20 years. Second time in, I think, 7 or 8 years. Last time and this time, both times, little salute, little drive safe. Warning, no ticket. Is this the privilege that when I hear people talk about it, I roll my eyes? And I go, come on. And I get frustrated. Am I a hypocrite? Did I last night, did I experience that very privilege? And the other question that I'm curious about, and we're going to go over to, fella says he's a police officer. Is it true? Now, we know that there are red light cameras. They're controversial. We know there are speed traps. And look, you go through towns in upstate New York, out in Long Island, in Westchester, Jersey. You go down and you go from a 50 zone. It drops down to 35 like a Zappo. And, small town. Is it revenue? I don't know. We all hear, all the civilians opine. You hear us talking about, it's quotas, man. Yep. You got pulled over? What? Look at the date. It's the 27th. End of the month, dude. End of the month. They're making their money. We say it over and over and over. Is there such a thing as quotas? And so we're asking. So let's get over to Ben on line 3 in Bergen County. Ben, you say you're a police officer. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Can you enlighten us a little bit as to the comings and goings of dealing with people like me and others?
Yeah, license and registration. Don't move, weirdo.
Oh, that was odd. But okay. But I mean, he's gone. Okay. That was weird. I didn't like the sound of that click. Let's go over to line 2. John in Reno. I like talking to John in Reno, and I love Reno. Biggest little town in the world. Hello there, John.
Hey there, TJ.
Hey there. Good morning.
This is not exactly a speeding thing, but it's close enough.
Okay.
I moved to Reno about 10 years ago to get back into sports gambling.
Okay.
And things were going well, but then I ended up homeless. And when I was homeless one night, I was still active in my addiction. I've only got 5.5 years sober now.
Okay.
But I went down to the bus station to look for a friend to smoke some speed with. And, I couldn't find them, so I decided to go across the street, hide behind a big power box where I'd bed down for the night and smoke my stuff.
Okay.
And about 20 minutes later, I looked up, and there was a gigantic 6'6" cop about 15 feet away from me watching me smoke my speed. I just put my pipe down and laid my head down, and he walked away, and he let me be. About a month later, I got sober on my own, and now I'm working now on the campaign for Eddie Lorden. He's the Republican running for mayor out here in Reno.
Okay.
He exercised his discretion. I could have made a big deal out of it, give me drug court, put me in a program. It would have been a huge headache.
Right.
But he exercised discretion. Everything worked out just fine now.
Huh. So, all right. So now, and again, we can really lean into this in the 4 o'clock hour, or for you, the 1 o'clock hour, when we talk about sobriety and stuff. I'm a big fan of drug courts and programs like that. And it sounded like it worked, and it sounded like you had a compassionate police officer who did the right thing by you, and that's always a beautiful thing when you hear about it. Thanks for calling, as always, John. I love when you chime in. I love that. I love that voice. Billy in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Talk about getting pulled over. Good morning, brother.
How you doing, brother? How you doing, TJ?
All right. Very well. Thank you.
All right. I'm having a little early morning breakfast toast.
Oh, nice.
You know how we roll.
Nice.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that first caller, painting the picture.
Yeah.
Says she's a ruckus library.
Yeah.
Speeding in a Corvette in the heat. All she needed was the headlights on, bro. I'm done. I'm hitting the floor. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But
right?
I'm telling you, man, set the tone of the night.
Isn't that the best?
On again.
That's why that's the best part about doing this show this time of night, because we get great calls like that, and then we can all reflect on it. It's nice.
I hear you, brother. She said she was a pole dancer. I was done.
Isn't that funny? So tell me, Billy, about. So have you gotten pulled over recently? Or you have any horror stories or what?
Well, it was a couple years ago, right? My buddy, he's a Jersey City cop. He lives in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, which is next to North Arlington. In the daytime, the place looks like Mayberry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we're watching college football all day, everything, and it's done. It's like 12:30 at night, so I'm driving back. I got to drive back to Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, coming through Jersey. And all of a sudden, it's through North Arlington. There's cops, red lights going all over the place, people getting pulled over. I'm like, oh, geez. I almost said the S word. I said, it must be quota time. All of a sudden, a cop whips around, comes behind me. I see in the rearview mirror the red lights. I just stop the car. I pull over. He gets out of the car, goes license, registration, the whole bit. I give it to him, no problem. Right. I said, officer, I wasn't speeding. And he goes, no. I just noticed that you have your bracket on your license plate. It's almost covering your whole plate. I said, I'm sorry about that, officer. I didn't know. He goes, I just got to write you up a little ticket, for, not being able to see the whole plate or whatever. And he goes, I noticed you have a Ranger sticker too by there. I said, yeah, I'm a diehard Ranger fan. He goes, I am too. I said, well, thank God you're not a Devils fan. He goes, oh, look good.
Did he still give you the ticket?
Yeah, he said, I got to write you up a little something. I said, no problem, man. He wrote me up a $25 ticket for the thing. I changed the plate and everything. He goes, where you going? I said, I'm heading back to Brooklyn. I could get shaken down by the Guinea Gangplank.
Did he? Now tell me, was that the kind of ticket? Was that the kind of ticket that once you made remediation that you were able to get off? Was that one of those things where you're able to show that you got rid of?
Yeah.
And then you don't, no points, that kind of thing?
Yeah, no points, no nothing like that. I just had to change the bracket on the plate.
Oh, okay.
He was cool though. But the worst feeling is when you see those red lights.
I know. I tell you what,
the pit in your stomach,
Billy.
Man.
I'm telling you, it just and you know what? And thank you again for calling, Billy. I got to take a break. Thank you, buddy. Loving you guys call. I love that this show we're picking up regulars. We got regulars. We got all that. This is awesome stuff. This is the best. This is why we do this late at night early in the morning with our family here. 2:48. I'm going to take a quick break. And I tell you what, here's the interesting thing, too. My daughter, my 16-year-old, I'm currently teaching her how to drive. She's going for her license Monday. Tomorrow, I got to admit to my daughter, or later today, not even tomorrow, later today, I have to tell my 16-year-old that I got pulled over last night. Gonna be doing that with like, hey, honey, Come here. I got to tell you something. So again, looking for a police officer to tell us and any of your stories, good story, bad story, shocking. Oh my God. Can't believe the cop banged me for this. I can't believe I got off when I was doing that. Good night, bad night with a police officer. 1-800-848-9222. And also, if there's a police officer out there, call us anonymously. I won't say your first name. You can tell the screener, you can tell Bill, but I won't say your first name. Give us a call and tell us the truth. Let's break that news right here, right now. We'll even play the breaking news sounder. Okay? We'll play the breaking. Tell us once and for all, is there such a thing as an end of the month quota? 1-800-848-9222. This is Another Side of Midnight with me, TJ McCormick, getting to the bottom of things on 77 WABC. One 1-800-848-9222. I got pulled over on the way to the city last night. And so this morning I'm being honest about it. And I'm dropping a dime in a few senses, because what we're talking about here is, you know, a lot of people throw around this whole notion of there being privilege. And it is my track record of being pulled over thrice in 20 years. And I don't believe I've gotten a ticket anytime. I might have gotten a ticket 20 years ago. But in the most recent instances, nada. And is that the privilege that I refuse to accept exists? Or, you know, is it that, you know, I just wasn't driving that egregiously. I was just, you know, and I was respectful and all that. But have you been popped by a cop for driving not so bad and you still got the business? Or were you driving one time just so egregiously? Were you on like two wheels, no pants, you know, with one of those double beer mug helmets on with the straws? I mean, you know, were you sitting there with the Corona? Were you doing Harvey Wallbangers? You know, were you mixing drinks with ice in glasses and a shaker? Were you making martinis and you got let off with a warning? And you're just amazed that the cop let you go? And the other big question is, if you are a police officer and you can tell us, please, 1-800-848-9222, does that actually exist? This thing that all the civilians swear by, the fact that, well, we believe it's a fact, that there are end of the month quotas for police, for traffic police. 1-800-848-9222. Ray in Brooklyn, line 3, your experience with the highway patrol. Dun, 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 dun.
Good evening, TJ.
Hey.
I'll stay on topic. Good evening, sir. I'll stay on topic. I just wanted to mention, did you hear that the guy that wrote Radar Love passed away recently?
Yeah. Yes, I did actually. That we even talked about it. Yeah, it's kind of weird, huh?
Oh, you know what? And TJ, you know what? I want to emphasize the veteran officers that are so great.
Yes.
When I had this gigantic '69 Buick LeSabre, and I hydroplaned and did a 360 on the Belt Parkway.
Oof.
And I think I tapped this officer's car. He was off duty.
Oh my
Next
God.
thing you know, I pulled over. It was one of those snowy, 37 years ago, a snowy night on the Belt.
Oof.
And I pulled over, and him and I spoke. And he asked me if I was all right, because as a young driver at the time, 30 years old, I couldn't believe what was happening. I actually spinned around on the belt.
Oof.
You know?
That's scary.
And I'm glad I reached you, and I want to thank you for being such an honest, beautiful person. And I hope your daughter does well. That she does well on the test, because she probably got a great dad for a driving instructor.
Oh, you're a nice guy. Thank you. Yes, I've been doing my best, and I want to. That's why I've got to be honest with her that I got pulled over last night. I've got to be honest with her. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence as a good dad. So thank you, Ray. Yeah, you're a good guy. Thank you there, buddy. I appreciate it. Let's get over to the one and only Joaquin. Joaquin, good morning.
Hey, good morning, TJ. I got a number of stories. I mean,
I can imagine. You're a character, Joaquin. You're a character.
After over 3 million miles, under my butt, and 40 some odd years, and they call it Reno. That's actually where my oldest daughter was conceived, in the back of a truck at a casino.
Oh wow!
So anyway, yes, I'll always remember 40 years ago one day, 41 years ago one day, and around this time, I got pulled over on my birthday on the New York Thruway.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get home.
Yeah.
And I was driving a triple-digit truck. And I pretty much was getting close to that triple digit when I got pulled over.
Oh.
It was a female trooper.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, oh, no. So she comes and she gets my paperwork, right?
Yeah.
Then she climbs up on the truck and she goes, here, Mr. Joaquin. She goes, happy birthday. She goes, I just gave you a logbook violation, and she let me go.
Wow. That's
and
cool.
I was hammering and motivating, man.
Dude, you were almost at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that's an easy target for. And I'm sorry, and that was in Nevada.
No, that was actually
New York. I'm sorry,
New York on the thruway.
That's right. You said it was in New York. Boy, buddy, I tell you what.
I started off my daughter.
Yeah,
actually
that's right.
Was conceived in Reno.
So wait, by the way, Joaquin, is today your birthday?
It's actually passed. It was
Friday.
Not technically yesterday, the 22nd. Yeah.
Oh, Friday was your birthday. Okay. Well, listen, happy birthday a day late there, Joaquin. Thank you for being there for our shows. It's nice to have the regular voices and see the regular names come up and, know that you guys are engaged and a part of it and supporting the show. It means the world. And so thank you for being there. And I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope you have a good birthday weekend. And there you go. All right, Joaquin. So it's, we're going to come up on top of the hour already. My gosh.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Whoop, whoop. Okay. That is not normally how us Caucasians go about it. We normally just keep it nice and quiet. We don't, That's the sound of the police. 5-0 got me tonight, yo. I was just driving, y'all. I was just driving, man. Going down to Taconic and whatnot. Yeah, I was going a little fast, but gotta get where I'm going and stuff. Anyway, that's a topic we can talk about all night long. 77 WABC. It's another set of midnight with me, TJ. 1-800-848-9222.
This is another side of midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning, family. 307 here on another side of midnight with me. It is 77 WABC. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello. And over on X, the conversation continues. One of the regulars and a listener who engages all the time, another former comedian, Yetta, who chimes in from time to time. Yetta said, TJ, if you were darting in and out of traffic and showing bad behavior, I wish you did get a ticket. How dare you? What? Those fighting words, Yetta. Anyway. It had nothing to do with privilege or having a Volvo. He just gave you a free pass. TJ, it is more than just you. It's your family and others on the road. Stay safe. Yes. And by the way, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. I hope the break was informative for you and restful. Good Shabbos. And in the first hour, we were talking about the fact that if you're just joining, I was pulled over on the Taconic Parkway I believe I'd probably made it to Yonkers, on the way in. This was last night on the way in for this morning's program. And it's the first time I've been pulled over in 7 years. And for the second time, 7 or 8 years. And I got let go again. And I was asking if it was privilege or not, but my initial point was, it was a reality check, and it was not the first time that I was going over the speed limit. Clearly, of course. And I certainly deserved to be pulled over because, like I said, and to Yetta's point, I believe I even said, I've got a wife and kids, and that's why I don't drive like a complete jerk. But I was less safe than I would normally drive when I take a chance here and there, like we all do. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to speak in such broad generalities. Maybe you don't. And I wonder, actually, that's another layer of the conversation. We're going to talk about other things, by the way, but just you're more than welcome to chime in on this because it is a broad topic. But I'm curious about this. And again, I hate to be formulaic talk radio question of the day, but curious, do you really, really, really fancy yourselves? I fancy myself to be a good driver. We all bend the rules, break the rules. No, I said, there I go again. We all. Do you not? That's where I was going. Do you not break the rules? Are you that kind of, does that kind of driver exist? Is there a driver that never breaks the rules? Like, ever? I mean, wittingly. Like, if you realize you're doing 58, do you knock it down to 55? I don't know if I'm talking into a vacuum. I don't know if that driver exists. Where as soon as you see you are literally over the speed limit, you knock it down, even if it's 2 miles an hour. I don't know. And I'm not being cute. I'm actually asking, are you that driver? And if you are that driver, you might be that driver, that one. And would you admit it? Am I talking to anyone right now this morning who is an awful driver and you know it? Are you a pain in the ass? Are you one of them on the road? Are you a tailgater? My old brother-in-law, who I don't talk to anymore, for reasons that have nothing to do with him being an awful driver, he was a tailgater. Wow. And there's people who freely admit, yeah, I'm a fast driver. I got a lead foot. I don't have a lead foot. I'm not a fast driver. I go over the speed limit clearly, but I'm not a bad driver. There are people who admit to it. Are you a bad driver and you dig it? Is it just your style to go too close to other cars? 1-800-848-9222. We're talking about it. I mean, I do have other things. But it just feels like we still have the calls coming in. So it feels like there's some energy here on this topic. And also the clarion call going out. I want to get to the bottom of this once and for all. This is the opportunity. If you're a police officer, or maybe perhaps if you are the spouse or the brother or the brother-in-law of a police officer or the sister-in-law of a police officer, is it true? Can you give credence? Can you once and for all put to rest this civilian conviction that there are in fact end of the month quotas for speeding tickets, for moving violations? Does that exist or does it not exist? Are you in law enforcement and you can finally put this rumor to rest or give it credence? Are we right? Are we misinformed? Are there end of the month quotas for police to jack up the revenues for their township or their state? Or is that a load and that is just some sort of urban myth? 1-800-848-9222. And like I said, I open the show with this. I drop a dime on myself. It's an interesting thing to experience. And Yetta is correct. The reason that I'm not stupid and total is because I don't want to be selfish. And I am concerned. I do always think about my wife and my daughters, and I think about other people's families. I am conscious of it. So, and are you? I'm sure you are. We're all good people in this morning family. 1-800-848-9222. And like I said, teaching my daughter how to drive. My daughter, and this snuck up on me. I totally forgot. She reminded me, my 16-year-old reminded me this afternoon. She's got her final lesson Sunday afternoon, and then she goes for her test, like the actual solo driving test. She goes for a test on Monday. Maron, what's going on with my life? My beautiful baby girl is getting her driver's license. And I've got to tell her later today, when I get up out of my midday slumber from doing the show, I've got to sit her down and go, Daddy's got to admit to you. Now, I didn't get a ticket, but I got pulled over. I was doing it. 1-800-848-9222. Let's see. Let's get over to, is it Dennis in Yonkers? Dennis, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to another side of midnight.
I'm TJ McCormick. I'm on the radio, officer. Oh, I know Curtis Sliwa. You want a Greg Kelly T-shirt?
What? Wow, that's hateful, Dennis. That's mean, Dennis. What? I know. All right, thank you, Dennis. Feel free to call back anytime. Wide open for you there. Let's see. Debbie in New Medford, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Good morning, Debbie. Welcome.
Hi, TJ.
Hey.
You were commenting about if there's a driver out on the road who, when they go 58, they slow down to 55.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of an understanding. I don't know if you have the same understanding that if it's like 5 miles over, they won't pull you over.
Right.
So I kind of sneak up to 58 and then might go down to 56, or I pushed it to 61.
Whoa. Hey. Hey, listen.
But if I see a police or a state police on the side of the road, I'll go down to 55.
First of all, that's sweet, and I get it, and you know what, I think this is one of those real human nature things, right? It's because what are we talking about here? We're talking about there's ego involved, right? There's guilt involved. There's conscience. There's a conscience involved. There's knowing right from wrong. There's also emotion, right? Because how often, like if you're in an argument in the car, right? And I don't know if it happens, but like, for me, you speed up, you get angry, and you want to show if you're the one driving, right, Debbie, and you're ticked off, and right?
Yeah. How about what I like about you by the Ramones? Don't tell me you don't step on the pedal.
Oh, exactly. And again, that's where the theme show, the theme song of this show, Radar Love, is because that's and what are the other speeding songs? And by the way, gang, you want to go ahead. Here's the other speeding songs. Okay. It's Eastbound and Down from Smokey and the Bandit. Let's see what I like. Yeah, you just said what I like about you. Is that what you? No.
Oh God.
What I like about you.
Like about you.
And also, wait. What are the other speeding songs?
There's a lot of them.
If anybody has a speeding song, by all means, call him, and we'll tell you not to speed to it.
Don't hang up on me yet. I got another little story.
Please go ahead.
I got caught for going too slow.
You're the second caller who got caught for going too slow. Tell me about this.
Okay, so he pulled me over, and he was very cocky with me. He thought I was on pot.
Really?
And I said, officer, he said, oh, are you having a good day, huh? And I was very happy. I said, yeah, I'm doing great. I had my son in the back. And boy, he went to his car. He came back. He said, I am so sorry. I'm 65 years old then.
Okay.
And he just assumed that of course I wasn't on pot.
Right.
But he because I was going too slow, I was just tired and kind of like just having a good time going home.
Sure. And so where was this? Where did that happen?
It was on the way to New Milford. It was on, was it 84 at that point? Exit 9, 84. Yeah, I think 84. The state police.
Oh, okay.
But I'm in White Plains right now. I took care of my dad right down the street from where you live. I've been here for 4 years. So.
Oh, really?
I was trying to wonder. I said, do we know him?
That's funny. In White Plains, you're, because I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up on Avondale Road in White Plains.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's a hoity-toity section. My dad worked for Gristedes, so he delivered around there. He was a delivery man.
Oh, look at that! Near on the one on Gedney Way. On Gedney Way.
That's right. Don was he has a caricature in front of the store because he was there 68 years. Yeah, he just passed away. That man. Yeah.
Oh,
that's my dad, Don McFadden. I hate to say my name over the phone.
No, okay, yeah. No, I totally know who your dad was. God
that's my dad, a tall, dark, and handsome man, even at 91. Yeah, that was my dad.
I can't believe he only just passed. He's been around an entire lifetime.
My age.
Wow.
So I'm 68 now. Yeah, and he started on Garth Road in Scarsdale and Gristedes, and he's been there. Became Cumberland, but still, it was always Gristedes. And John Catsimatidis, he met him and everything.
Wow, Debbie, this is a crazy small world, lady. All right, well, thank you for calling, and don't be a stranger. Stay in touch. That's nuts. I love that. I love the early morning family right there. That's crazy. I know exactly who her dad was. Rest his soul. God rest his soul. Don. Oh my Lord. I can't believe that's crazy. That's nuts. 3:20 here on 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight. We're talking about a bunch of stuff. Well, yeah. I mean, again, if I love that. Got pulled over for going too slow. 2 callers got pulled over for going too slow. That's wild. Let's get over to Rich in New Jersey on line 4. Pulled over for driving in the left lane. What happened to you? What's going on, Rich?
Hey, TJ, this was probably during the gas crisis. I'm coming home from so it went down to 55, the speed limit.
Yes.
So I'm going to be good about it. So I paid the toll, coming back with a shirt at Union Toll Plaza, I think, and I'm doing 55. Okay. And I see the cop behind me, and I'm looking down at my odometer, and I'm doing 55. Right. Goes on for miles.
Right.
Finally pulls me over. Goes, "What are you doing?" I goes, "What do you mean, officer?"
What are you doing?
You're driving in the left lane. It's for passing only. Then I got it. To this day, you pass left, you move, people hanging out in the left lane just won't move over.
Right.
Drives me crazy.
It's nuts.
But I learned my lesson.
There you go. You're right, and that is the rule. You overtake. And then you get back in the center lane. If it's a 3-lane, if it's a 2-lane, then you get back into the right lane. And yeah, generally speaking, that's the way it is. And so you follow those rules. So you got the ticket, or did he let you go?
No, but he called it to my attention. And another thing, paying the tolls, exact change. I always get behind the guy that doesn't have exact change.
Yep. I know you got to go. You
can't read.
You got to have that easy pass, baby. You got to have that easy pass.
Before that, though, this is before.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Anyway.
No, for sure. Rich, thank you, buddy. Thank you for calling up. I love it. That's great stuff. 1-800-848-9222. Yeah. So, again, we're looking for an officer. We're looking for a police officer or someone who knows. Ideally, if you're in law enforcement, you can tell us once and for all, put to rest this wives' tale, this urban myth of the end of the month, which we would be experiencing in the next week or so. Is there about to be a rash of tickets? Law enforcement, if you're listening, and again, if you're listening, officer who pulled me over and gave me a warning tonight, thank you again, sir. But tell me, are you, is there such a thing as the end of the month or the monthly quota, and therefore the end of the month they got to hit the quota? I guess that's really more to the point. Or is that just a load and civilians, it just grew out of rumor and it's a myth and it's not true at all? 1-800-848-9222. Let's talk to Pete on Staten Island. Peter, good morning, line 2. How are you, pal?
Pretty good. Oh, I got a story for you.
All right.
I was in Jersey and I'm driving and I blew a stop sign. So all of a sudden the guy beeps at me in a SUV and I give him the finger. Next thing you know, the lights go on and he's pulling me over. So and he goes, "You just blew a stop sign." I go, yes, I know I did. He goes to me, what do you have on your radio? I go, I have 77 WABC. And at the time, the DJ was Frankie Russo.
Okay.
So I'm listening, but meanwhile, my wife has him on the line. She's calling in. So the cop says to me, is that lovely Renee? I says, yeah, my wife. Oh, you're Pete on the radio. Pete from Staten Island. I go, oh, yes. So he goes to me, look, I'll let you go this time. You got to be more careful. You have to be careful. So now I tell Frankie Russo this on his show, but he's not listening to me. He says, well, give the name of the cop over the radio, and we'll give him a shout-out. I go, I didn't get a ticket. I don't know the name of the cop, but he's not listening to me.
Pete, are you telling me that this world is so small that the cop pulled you over? The cop that saw you run a stop sign and you gave him the finger and he pulls you over. Here's back then 77 WABC music coming through. Right. He knows your wife's voice.
Right, and me.
And you. And that's how small the world was. That's
how
insane.
Small I swear I got off the ticket. Renee is here right now. You could vouch for it.
I believe it. You can't make that up. You can't make up that kind of story. Pete, thank you so much, buddy, for calling in. I love these stories. These are great. 1-800-848-9222. What a perfect time in the morning. We're all remembering our pasts. We could be driving right now. If you call while you're driving, please make sure you do it in a safe manner. Let's see. We're talking about our police encounters. Rick in New Jersey on line 3. Rick, good morning. Welcome. It's another side of midnight. Hey.
How you doing, JD? Original Rick, by the way. Anyway,
Original Rick, sorry.
Yeah, about 15 years ago, yes. I got stopped going through a very, hoity-toity, if you know what that means, town.
Yes,
Montclair, New Jersey. You know Montclair,
I do know Montclair, yep.
Okay. I got stopped. My car was safe and all that, but I was having some money problems. I didn't get it all fixed up. It looked ratty.
Okay.
And I got stopped by the cops, and he goes, listen, do yourself and us a favor, and don't drive this car through Montclair anymore. Wow. It ruins our image. I said, what?
Wow.
He goes, it's not the way we want to portray our town. And I'm thinking, God, my car is so ratty that the cops are stopping me to tell me don't drive through.
Wow.
And he let me go because there's nothing against the law.
I would hope so. Uh-huh.
But I veered through away from Montclair whenever I could, until I got the car fixed. I mean, it just wasn't washed. It had a bumper that was dented. It just looked ratty.
Right.
But it was safe. It was absolutely safe. But
it passed inspection.
Yeah, but not visual.
It didn't pass his muster. Okay.
yeah, and it was like I couldn't believe that. Are you serious? I mean,
I think what's fascinating is that he admitted that was why he pulled you. That's the most fascinating thing is that he was honest about it.
Well, there was no other reason to pull me over. I was driving safely. Wow. It just looked really ratty, and it's true. I mean, all these expensive cars are passing, or I'm passing them by, and then I look like the Beverly Hillbillies coming down there. And I guess it was like, no, we don't. Can you veer away from this town, please? And so I just thought that was.
That's funny. Thank you, Original Jethro. Thank you from the Beverly Hillbillies. Let's see. I'm going to jump over to John in Westchester County, a retired state trooper. John, you have the skinny for us here. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for calling.
Well, I have a different perspective than some of your callers.
Great.
Everybody seems to think that at the end of the month you really have to be careful because you're going to get looked at a lot more closely.
Right.
It happens throughout the entire week.
Right.
From the police point of view, from the supervisor's point of view, your supervisor gives you a car with lights and siren on it and sends you out to drive around for 8 hours.
Right.
You come back at the end of the day, you can't really say, Sarge, I just prevented 4 burglaries and 3 robberies. You can't prove a negative. The only thing you can prove is a positive.
Okay.
So if you come back with 2 tickets, you say, I found 2 violations. He's going to say, I expect that. Because if I give you a car and you go out and if you can't see one violation in 8 hours of driving, you're not doing your job. Now, some troopers or police officers are like anybody else. They get a little lackadaisical. So maybe I'll go 2 days without writing any tickets. I may see violations, but I may not write them. As it gets closer to the end of the month, the average officer works 20 days a month. So for the sergeant, that's 20 tickets at the end of the month. Well, if it's the 28th and you've only got 10 tickets, you're going to work a little bit harder those last 2 days. So it may appear that there's a greater surveillance toward the end of the month. But there is no, if you want to call it a quota, fine. So our supervisors call it a recommended level of performance.
Okay. All right. That's so one person's recommended level. What is it? Recommended level of what?
Recommended level of performance. If you can't see one violation in an 8-hour period driving around, and the average driver, I mean, like yourself, you drive around, you see idiots out there committing 2 or 3 violations just while you're driving from home to work.
Exactly. Yeah, well, tonight I got pulled over by a very young version of you, and I'd say he was about maybe 27. He was professional. He was conversant. He was genuine. He was honest. He was straightforward. Asked me all the right questions, all the questions I anticipated. I was respectful. I acknowledged every single little thing I did. You know what? I'll tell you what, John. I was so honest with him that he said, and you kind of brake checked me. And I said, you know what? I said, I would never do that. I said, I'm too scared to ever brake check people. I'm afraid. I said, I said, if it appeared that I was brake checking you, I said, that might have just been because I wanted to slow down because I knew I was going quick and I didn't want to go that fast. I said, so please understand. I said, even though I could have just kept admitting everything, I even was honest to the point where I said, well, no, I didn't do that. But he was great. And it was a good reminder for me that I've got to, no pun intended, tap the brakes and bring it in a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you had a good experience, but I will tell you, listeners, one thing.
Yes, please.
Attitude means everything. If the officer comes up to your window and the first words out of your mouth is, "What'd you stop me for?"
Right.
You know it's going to be a bad day.
John, my first words as the window was already down, my dome light was on. He comes up. My first words were, "I'm sorry." You know why? I'll tell you why, John. I've said this, and I said this in the last hour. Is I hated being the guy that made this guy get out of the car on the side of the highway. You know what I mean? That's what I was really apologizing for. Not so much what I did, but rather because I'm that jerk that this guy has to, because I just think it's so dangerous watching those cars fly by and you guys are out there.
Most of my work was done on the interstate and people are going by 65, 70 miles an hour. 2 feet away from you.
John, and they don't get over that extra lane, which is I guess has it always been the law?
Now you got a ticket for not doing that.
And good. That drives me nuts too. Anything else, John, we should know? Anything else about like from what you know, you were a state trooper, but what about in the local municipalities? Are there those towns that lean into this for revenue?
I don't have personal knowledge of that. But, when you write a ticket, at least back when I was working, and say the fine is $50, all that money goes to to Albany. And at that time, the town was getting back $5 for processing the ticket. The state got to keep the rest of the money. And now, not only on top of the fine, now there are surcharges.
Right.
The state is making a lot of money off of traffic tickets, not the municipality.
Very interesting. John, you know what? You did it. You made the show better. I'm so grateful for you calling in. Thank you, sir. And thank you for your service to the state as a trooper. I got to take a break. Thank you, buddy. All the best to John and everybody else. Hang in there. We see you. It is 3:33. Time for the bottom of the hour break. It's another side of midnight with me, TJ, on 77 WABC. Can't believe we're here talking to you. It's the best. It's 3:37 in the morning, having a perfect early morning talk radio experience, talking about our experiences with law enforcement. How about John, retired New York State trooper, basically, supporting what we all kick around as a quota. It's a level of performance that is expected. That's a recommended level of performance. One person's recommended level of performance is another person's quota. And as we go into the week, we'll see if there's tell me if you see an uptick. That was a fascinating couple of minutes with John, pretty much supporting the notion that they are expected to write a number of tickets. And if they get to the end of the month, they got to make up for it if they had a slow first part of it. Okay, there we go. 1-800-848-9222. We're talking about, for the most part this morning so far, we're talking about our experiences with law enforcement and getting pulled over and why and what it was like. And, again, I got popped, didn't get a ticket, but I was pulled over on the way, and I had, a decent experience with this young trooper. I did apologize immediately. And as we heard John say, attitude is everything. Everything. And procedure, I pulled over, had the dome light on, windows were down. I think I accidentally put down my front and back window. I was just all flustered. 1-800-848-9222. What's your experience? This is some great stuff. And Leah, like I said too, I'm teaching my daughter, my 16-year-old goes for her driver's license on Monday. So this morning, later today when I get up, I'm going to have to tell her. It's going to be embarrassing. I got to admit, it's going to be embarrassing. I'd like, up till now. But you know what? No, good teaching moment. Actually, this is all sort of evolving as I say it. Yes, okay, it's going to be a little humbling to acknowledge that I was pulled over on the way to New York City last night into this morning. But you know what? I guess I am doing her. It will do her a service. Because where I was just about to go was I was just about to say I'm going to be embarrassed, and because I want to appear to be to her this flawless driver. That's where my head was going a moment ago, and I stopped myself because it's important that I'm not perfect. I need her to be perfect, but we all make mistakes when we're driving, and I need her to be safe. And if I'm going to be an example to my daughter in terms of stop, come to a full stop, left, right, left, car to the right has the right of way. If I'm going to be that example to her, I also need to be an example to her in saying, however, last night I did the wrong thing and look what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm also going to explain to her what I did. I'm going to explain to her what I was doing at the time. And I'm going to tell her why, because I was, again, anybody who missed the very tippity top of the show this morning, that it was one of those things. The drive just didn't feel right. From the moment I pulled out of the driveway, nothing was clicking. It wasn't smooth. I didn't feel right leaving the house. I was just sort of not centered. I wasn't right. And the drive wasn't right, and I wasn't me. And look what happened. So that'll be, I think, the conversation with her is, you got to get centered, and you have to be in a good state of mind as best you can all the time when you're behind the wheel. And it's a good thing that police officer pulled me over, because you know what? I was in a bad spot. I wasn't perfect. And he, by pulling me over, pulled me out of it. And I was focused. I was pulling back onto the highway. If I wasn't focused before he pulled me over, I was seeing every white line. I was seeing every pebble in the road. I could see squirrels a mile on either side of the highway. I could see a deer. I could see a deer in Pomona. Yeah. 1-800-848-9222. Let's get over to David in the Bronx. Line 4. Good morning, David. Your story.
Good morning, TJ. I'm glad John came on before me. I'm retired law enforcement, New York State, local New York City.
Okay.
Interacted with NYPD.
Thank you.
I'm a retired sergeant. Worked in law enforcement for 15 years. He was accurate, totally accurate. Technically, it's not quota.
Right.
In private security, my officers had to have a certain amount of reports, reporting everything from the smallest to the greatest, from pot smokers to people loitering, you name it, just a list of things. And the quota, if you want to call it a quota, but it's not a quota, it determines on the money that comes in. In private security, private law enforcement, it determines whether or not you have a contract renewal and how the contract is negotiated. Working in New York State, like he was saying about Albany and the collection of funds, it's the same thing. So he was totally accurate. I'm glad his call came on before mine because it gave me a chance to make a couple of notes, a couple of things I wanted to add to your night show.
Yes.
One was songs. You wanted songs for Highway.
Oh, okay.
You'll know this one.
Okay.
And it doesn't talk about speeding.
Okay.
But you know about Ventura Highway, America.
Yes.
Ventura Highway.
Yes, Ventura Highway.
There are no horse and buggies on the Ventura Highway.
No.
I lived in California. In the 70s, and there's no speed limit there. It's however fast you can go.
David, I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in Studio City in Sherman Oaks in the 90s and 2000s. Okay. Tell me something.
I know Sherman Oaks.
Tell me something.
Quite well.
Was California in the 70s just the greatest place? It had to be the best.
Did you know a fellow by the name of Bruce Luxinger? The Luxingers in Sherman Oaks?
No.
Bruce is a writer, and his wife, who they were good friends of mine, she was a set designer in Hollywood, independent. Yeah, they were good friends of mine. But I just wanted to give you Ventura Highway by America because it doesn't talk about speeding.
No.
But if you could close your eyes and imagine Ventura Highway, everybody was going 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh, these days, yeah. No, it's crazy. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
But that's it. Back in the 70s too, they were going pretty fast.
Oh, that's great.
In the 70s and in the early 80s. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you,
yes,
just having my scanner on,
yes,
there was a high alert all over New York State tonight due to that accident that they had where that bus flipped over.
Yes,
that was coming from Niagara Falls.
Yes, sir.
So all the highways, all the interstates crisscrossing the state up and down into local, even down to 87, and the Bronx.
Yeah,
they were on high alert for anything, speeding because of that accident. So because the traffic was so backed up, it slowed so much traffic up. So once that traffic let up, you had cars and trucks coming out of everywhere, but that was on the police scanner tonight.
Gotcha. All right.
Just to add, but John filled in the blank.
Yes.
I just wanted
well,
to
so did you, David. No, I'm glad you did.
I called you last month. Yeah.
I remember you calling. Oh, okay, now I got it. That's right. I remember you, David, Mr. Positive. I got to jump. I got to take the quarter of the hour break, David. I'm so sorry, but please make sure you stay a friend of the show. I'm grateful that you're there. 1-800-848-9222, 3:46 in the morning. We're coming up on 4:00. Oh my gosh, this show is flying by. We shall be right back. 77 WABC. All right. Good morning, everyone. 3:49. Patrick's been waiting. What's your ticket experience there, Patrick in Bloomfield? Good morning.
Oh, my God, my friend. This is Patrick from Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, I respect the police force.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. But me and my friends are going down Cream Ridge, New Jersey. I don't know if you know that by Cream Ridge. Cream, New Jersey is. Yeah, that's by. But anyway, so me and my friends are going down to my aunt's farm.
Okay.
And we had a carload of fucking guns.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm coarse again. So me and my friends are going down to Cream Ridge, New Jersey. And I was doing like 80 miles an hour.
Okay.
And the cops pull us over, and we had a trunk load full of guns, handguns, and everything.
Good Lord, what? Okay. All right.
We're going to my aunt's farm, and we were going there.
Okay, out in the country, and you're going to do like target shooting.
In the country,
and stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
So the cops pulled us over on a turnpike and stuff like that. And it's really funny because the cop says, "Do you have any guns in the car?" I said, "Oh my God, we had all kinds of handguns." But like I said, I have a lot of respect for the police department.
Sure.
So, actually, this is really what's going to freak you out. So I open up the trunk, and he goes, "Oh, this is the BB gun." One of the, and he was shooting my BB gun off on the side of the turnpike and stuff
really?
Like that. Yeah.
Was that what you said? Was this like in the 70s?
No, I'm talking maybe in the 90s.
Get out of here! Really?
My friend, I'm not.
That's amazing! Wow.
So he's pumping my Crossman 10-pump BB gun, and he's shooting. Meanwhile, we got handguns and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's pumping my 10-pump Crossman handgun and shooting in the woods. And he goes, "Okay, guys, get the hell out of here." No lie, my friend. No
wow.
lie.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Let's get over to Marianne in Indiana. What's your song there, Marianne in Indiana?
I have a speeding song.
Okay.
I Can't Drive 55.
That's a good one. That's, what's his name? That's, Sammy
Hagar.
Sammy Hagar. Right. That's Sammy Hagar. Oh, cool. Yeah. You know what? I mean, by definition.
I also have a story.
Yes, ma'am.
The ticket I got.
Oh, okay.
I got this ticket, and I worked by this place that had a policeman there that, kind of guarded our place a lot. But anyway.
Okay.
I got kind of mouthy with the policeman. I kind of do that at times. I don't know why I do that. But he did give me a warning ticket. However, I got reprimanded at the policeman at work about it, and they made me write a letter of apology for being mouthy.
Really?
Yes.
And now you're just mouthy when you on the radio. Now you just talk.
Yes, I'm just mouthy too.
Oh, that's so cute. So wait, so did you do that? Did you write a letter of apology to the police officer?
Yes, I had to.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That's funny. Did you end up making friends with them?
Not really.
No?
I did what I was told. I was respectful.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Can't drive
I know.
55.
I was mouthy, and I apologize for it.
Marianne, where in Indiana are you?
Bloomington.
And Bloomington.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Indiana University.
Yeah, IU, absolutely. I was a huge Bob Knight fan.
I was too.
I love Coach Knight. Rest in peace.
I did too.
I
met Coach Knight. He shook my hand.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I bet he liked you. You're a Spitfire. I bet he. Yeah. You're a pistol.
Well, I'm only 4'11". He's like 6'5". So.
Yeah. Oh, he was great.
Funny.
The world needs more Bob Knights.
Yeah, he was a great man.
He was indeed. Marianne, thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're lovely. Thank you very much. There goes Marianne in Bloomington, Indiana, the home of IU, the Hoosiers. Let's see. Let's get over to Frank in Quebec. Good morning, my Quebecois friend.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Good morning. Yeah, you really said it good, Quebecois.
Quebecois.
Mr. McCormack, right? I'm sorry if I don't know.
Yes. Say it with a little bit of poutine in your mouth. Yes. I actually, do you know what? Back in 1999, I did I performed at Just for Laughs. I performed at the Montreal Comedy Festival in 1999.
Oh, really? In 99?
Yeah, in 99.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Well, that was fun. That's the last time that's the last time I was in Montreal. I keep wanting to bring my family to Montreal. Yeah. It's a beautiful city. You're so lucky to live there.
No, honestly, Mr. TJ, Quebec City.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're Quebec City. I'm sorry. Quebec City is stunning.
No. I'm suburb of north of Montreal, but I mean, really, tourists. Yeah. I'm going to refer Quebec City.
You're right.
Montreal.
Old Quebec. You're right. Quebec City is
beautiful. You said it. Old Quebec City.
Old Quebec. Yes, the horses and carriages and the beautiful architecture. Yes, indeed.
You feel like really in Europe there.
Yes, indeed. You do feel like you're in Europe.
that's why the French want to I'm not saying that's why they want to do independence, because they're scared they're going to lose. And I understand. I'm not separatist. I don't want to separate from the rest of Canada. But I mean, the French language is important to preserve here, because we're a small in all America. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure,
right?
sure. I get it.
So, anyways, for the song, there's a vehicle song.
Yes.
It's not a vehicle song. Idol of the March is a very good song. And Highway to Hell.
Oh, Highway to Hell is a great speed. That is a very tough speeding song. It's almost impossible to not pick up the pace when you hear that song come on.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Sorry, TJ.
No.
I just want to add, when I used to contest fighting tickets at the court here, there was a judge. Every time he used to say to the defendant, anything to add, sir? Anything else to add? You knew he was going to find him guilty.
Really? Okay, so wait, I'm sorry, Frank. Frank, I take it you're a solicitor.
You mean?
Are you a lawyer?
No. I wanted to become once, but then once upon a time, but then even a police officer. But then I went more low profile.
Oh, okay. So anyway, back to your theory here. So that judge, every time you'd hear him say, "Do you have anything else to add?" you knew that he was going to find them guilty.
Exactly. And also the prosecutor, sometimes there was one that was bluffing a bit. She had like a paper in her hand, from like the automotive, I don't know how you call it over there, the where you go pay the driver's license. Anyways.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. The DMV or Department of Motor Vehicles.
And you're there, Jay, and you want to defend your cause.
Yeah.
And you have the merit points, right? You have points in your dossier.
Yes.
So she's bluffing. She doesn't have the records of the government. And she's saying, so Mr. DJ, you said you did your stop sign? Okay, tell the court how many points you have. So you're going to be scared because you're going to see the paper and she's looking at you and,
Oh.
But, yeah.
Oh, they're sneaky, Frank. Oh, wow. Hey, listen, I'm very, very grateful for your calls. Every time you call, it's nice to know that you're listening up there. Really, thank you so much. Merci. It is 3:58 here on Another Side of Midnight. Talking to you from the corner of 49th and 3rd in Midtown East. I am your recidivist, scofflaw driver, TJ McCormick, here on Another Side of Midnight. And we are coming up on the top of the hour. As we get into 4 a.m., we're going to touch a little bit on, as we do every Saturday morning, we're going to talk a little bit about sobriety, we'll tie it in with the theme. We'll talk, I guess we can fold in some driving stuff here, and take a little trip into that conversation, as we always do. And your calls have been driving this show. I thank you so much. And we'll continue to do that into the next hour when we deliver you right up to 5 a.m. and Liz Radabali in the 5 a.m. newscast. Myself, Tony, Bill, we are here. You are there on the phones. It's Another Side of Midnight on 77 WABC.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Good morning once again. It's 4:07 here in Midtown East Manhattan. My thanks always to Tony and Bill, who are here with me and supporting me in these endeavors with all of y'all. And I'm grateful for everyone listening. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight, final hour with me, TJ McCormick, on 77 WABC. We're all having a fantastic conversation for the last couple hours about our encounters with law enforcement, about driving, about what makes us crazy drivers, what makes us tick when we're driving. I got pulled over on the way in last night for this morning's program. I didn't get a ticket, but only in talking about it. In talking about the experience this morning, did I really sort of realize, I kind of talked it out and I kind of figured out what was going on. And that, again, and forgive me if you already heard me articulate this, but the entire drive, and I think you know what I mean. The drive just didn't feel right. I wasn't centered. I was off. I was tight. It wasn't good. I was ticked off, but I wasn't angry. I was tense, but I wasn't over the top. It wasn't right. I was way off center. I think that's just the best way I can put it. And hopefully you all totally get what I'm saying. I just wasn't right. And the drive wasn't right. And in retrospect, and I think I kind of had a moment of clarity in the last hour. In retrospect, this young trooper being on his game and pulling me over hit the reset button for me. It centered me. Again, that's why I'm sticking with that terminology. I was certainly, like I said, if I was not centered and paying attention prior to being pulled over, good Lord, sweet feathery Jesus, I was way, way aware of everything in a good way as I re-entered the highway after that officer let me off with just a conversation and a warning. And it was fun too. It was funny too, because he asked me, he said, so you can drive the rest of the way into the city like a normal human being, I think, or a responsible human being, I think is what he said. So that was cool. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times in this program that this was the third time that I can remember, certainly the second time in 7 years. This is the second time in the past 7 years that I've been pulled over, and the previous time, no ticket. And I believe prior to that was 20 years ago. So I think I went through a 13-year break prior to that. And before then, that's all in sobriety. I've been sober for 20 years as of a month ago. And month and a half ago. And the biggest dry spell of my life in terms of encounters with the police happened when I was drinking. I am the dictionary definition of an alcoholic. And when I was, as we say, in the cups, when I was boozing it, I was zipping around. We just mentioned that I lived in the Valley in Los Angeles. I was zipping around Hollywood, West Hollywood, over the hill into the Valley, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Van Nuys, zipping around in a brand new Mercedes. Mr. Show Business, Mr. Stand-up, Mr. Actor, doing my little TV acting and stuff, zipping around the Valley, ripped. Never got pulled over. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever. And if I had been pulled over, I would have seen the inside, not just of a police station, but of jail cell. Only by the grace of God. Only clearly it was not God's plan to have me in a jail cell. It was not God's plan to have me hurt somebody or myself. And the amount of times that I took that liberty, which is why, again, I'm glad this young trooper pulled me over last night. Because, maybe doing this gig, doing this overnight, puts me on a lot of quiet highways especially on the way home, as the sun is coming up. I can see everything. Driving home from this gig is the closest thing in the New York metropolitan area to the experience I used to have driving between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, where you can pretty much see everything out in front of you and off to the side. You've got to be a truly dim-witted, distracted, dopey driver to not see a police officer. And what am I getting? Oh, listen to that. How about just go the speed limit? No, it's about seeing the cops. Because again, it's not that you didn't do it. It's that, you just didn't get caught. Anyway, so back then, and I've related this too, and it's worth repeating because it's one of the most profound experiences that is shared by alcoholics. And I see you there, Brian, and I see you, Chip. We will absolutely talk to you. Thank you for calling. And it relates to driving while drunk. And by the way, not just at night. I would start my drinking at, I think, the bar on Moore Park Street. The bar opened, I think they opened up around, sometimes they'd open up early, like around 1 or so. But I know I would definitely be bellying up around 1:30, 3 o'clock the latest. And they had an outdoor bar built like a tiki bar at this place. And I'm blanking on the name. I spent like 2 years every single day like it was my office with a bunch of pathetic coworkers who like didn't know each other. Boy, and we just and our job was getting bloated. And we did it well. If we had performance reviews for getting bloated and pasty and fat and drunk and loserish, we would, we were all up for promotions. Anyway, they had a beautiful bar they built out into the parking lot. I guess they got a permit to build out in the parking lot. And they built like a tiki bar, an outdoor deal. And we were able to smoke out there. It was like the one place that you could smoke and drink, not have to like leave your drink and go outside to the sidewalk. Or have to sit out in that crazy valley sun 345 days a year. But you could actually sit at a bar and smoke cigarettes and drink. And gin and tonics in like milkshake glasses. I would drink double and a half, like doubles in milkshake glasses. And I would drive like a bat out of hell. What a loser. What a loser. Anyway, the profound story or experience that so many alcoholics share is, again, you wake up 9, 10, 11 in the morning, right? After a late night. And if you were a blackout drinker like me, most alcoholics, most drunks, most addicts who black out, when they wake up in the morning, and I never knew this until I was in my first week of AA meetings. And the first time I heard another alcoholic share this as their experience, I knew I wasn't alone, and I knew I was in the right place, and I knew I was going to be okay. Because what happens is addicts will wake up from a blackout, and the very first thing we do is we go out to the car and we walk around the car because we don't remember getting home. And that means we don't remember the drive home. And that means we don't remember getting in the car or anything that happened between drinking, getting in the car, whatever our last conscious memory is, and getting home, waking up. There's a blank spot there. If you don't know what that means, friends, if you're a normal person and you're not an addict and you don't know what blackout drinking is. So you wake up and you go downstairs or you go out to the car and you do a once around or a twice around or 3 laps just to be safe. And you're looking for blood and you're looking for human hair because you're so afraid that you might have hit somebody and you don't remember it. And that's the only evidence, is if you had a wrecked car or remnants of a person. How's that for jarring? So if that sounds familiar, by all means, call and share your funny stories about looking for hair on your car. God almighty, the life of an addict. And I tell you what, any addict that doesn't get sober is going to find themselves in one of three places: jail, institution, or the ground, dead. One of three. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. If you're a drinker, if you're a druggie, if you're a junkie, you know, and arguably if you're a gambler, that insidious addiction of gambling could put you in those same three places for a number of different reasons. But you could, that's exactly where a gambler could end up: a jail, an institution, or dead, for some different scenarios, but same destinations. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Talking about experience, strength, and hope. Or if you're in the middle of it, what your experience is, so maybe we can get you some strength and hope. And let's get over to Brian in Montreal, recovery and sobriety conversation. Brian in Montreal, line 3. Good morning, Brian. Brian in line 3. Hey there. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Nice to talk to you, TJ.
Thank you.
Way back in 1976, I bought a Trans Am, and I was in music then full time, and I wanted to see how fast I could go. So I was on the highway, and I got it up to 135 miles an hour. And this is like 3 a.m. There was no cops. I was lucky. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I have 20 years of AA, but 5 years ago with the pandemic, the meetings were all screwed up. And after 2 years, I went back drinking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And now I have a week sobriety, so I'm going back. I'm back to AA.
You have a week. You're a week sober. Wow, good for you. Good for you. Yeah. Good for you. Welcome back. That's awesome. What was it that brought you back recently? What transpired that had you decide, okay, time to come back in?
I guess my wife.
Okay. So if you don't mind, what do you mean? Was it so you're married? So your wife was putting up with it for the last couple of years? What was going on? Tell us.
No, she's very understanding, and she's behind me, so she wasn't scolding me. Mm-hmm. But she says, you did it before, you can do it again. So I'm back to AA.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Does your wife go to? Is there a big Al-Anon presence up there in Montreal? Is there a Al-Anon program?
Yeah, there is. But we don't go.
No. Yeah, my wife, I tell you, my wife, it's, they say, look, that you got to do it for yourself, right? And clearly you're doing it for yourself. But it is good it is good to have that support. But, but that's kind of the difference too, is that, people can't make you do it. They can only support you and tell you that they love you and that they want you to be well and live as long as you can and all that. My wife, when 20 years ago, when I finally went to rehab, it was because my wife had finally had enough. She was going to Al-Anon and I didn't know it. While I was sneaking off to the bar, she was sneaking off to Al-Anon. And by the way, for anybody who doesn't happen to know, Al-Anon is a program for family, loved ones, friends of addicts. And it's not about how to live with an addict, but rather it's about boundaries and not accepting behavior and being happy. Anyway, my wife kicked me out of the house. And so, she kicked me out, didn't give me much of a choice. And I thank the program of Al-Anon for giving my wife the wherewithal and the clarity to do that for herself. So thank you again for calling in there, and welcome back to AA. Good for you. That's awesome. 1-800-848-9222. If you have anything that you want to chime in about that, by all means, it's not supposed to be necessarily easy, but, and by the way, this is another little moment that I had out there. So I mentioned the tiki hut that they had built outside of this particular bar. And, it was a cast of regulars that would be there all day and most of the evening. And, this one particular night, again, in Los Angeles, and when you live in that part of LA, in the Valley, just about everybody is either in show business or related to show business in some way, shape, or form. So there was this one odd night where, because again, I'm just relating to drinking and driving, where this fella that I hadn't met before joined us in the bar. And he was real gregarious and real loud. I got real quiet, by the way. Mr. Yap, Mr. Mouth, Mr. Comedian, Mr. Radio Mouth. I would get quiet and I would get boring and I would get withdrawn when I drank. And not nice. Not me. I wasn't an angry drunk, but I wasn't, I just, ugh. Anyway. So this gregarious, cheerful, chirpy guy comes in and he looked kind of like John Denver, if I remember correctly. Definitely had round glasses. Anyway, this guy comes in, and as they're shutting down, as they're doing last call, he's like, "Hey, everybody, just come. We go to my place." He lived in Toluca Lake. Now, Toluca Lake is adjacent to, is in the middle of the valley. It's where Bing Crosby brought up his family. Bob Hope had his place in Toluca Lake. It was one of the first suburbs of the Hollywood scene. It was like one big country club neighborhood. Perfect for Bing and Bob Hope. So he goes, "Well, I'll go back to my place." So a whole bunch of drunks go out to their cars and rev up their cars. I get in my Mercedes, and this guy takes off like a bat out of hell, and it looks like the Cannonball Run. It's a bunch of drunks following each other to this guy's house. What a mess. Guy threw his gate into his backyard, his beautiful house. And I find myself sitting in this sort of an inside outside. I'm sitting in like what looks like I'm surrounded by a tree house is what it felt like. I had sobered up enough in the drive over that I was aware of my surroundings once I sat down and started drinking again in this guy's backyard. And I was surrounded by wood, like either a paneled finished basement, but I knew I was outside, or more appropriately, like a tree house, but on the ground. And I looked up and I said, "What the hell is this?" And the guy said, "You are sitting in Fort Courage." And I said, "What?" He goes, "This is Fort Courage." He goes, my dad was on F Troop." And I said, hold on. I mean, this is classic living in the Valley. And I said, wait. I said, "Your dad was on F Troop?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, of course I wanted his dad to be Larry Storch, but I said, "Who is your dad?" And sure enough, it was, what's his name? For crying out loud. Now I'm blanking. No, it wasn't Ken Berry. No, it was Forrest Tucker. Wait, Forrest Tucker. Yeah. Forrest Whitaker is the guy from, The Godfather of Harlem. Right. Okay. He's the brother. Forrest Tucker was his dad. And his dad, Forrest Tucker from F Troop, had a good portion of the remains of Fort Courage brought to his home. And so I have the honor and privilege of having driven drunk to Fort Courage and continue to drink in Fort Courage. It's my understanding that Forrest Tucker enjoyed a drink or two every now and then. I don't know if he ever got sober. I don't know if that was his story. There's another part of his story that's very similar to Milton Berle, and we'll leave that for another day. like Milton. Okay. It's 4:28. Let's get over to, let's see. Chip in the Bronx, you have a highway story. We are still talking about our situations on the road. Chip.
Yeah, I got a funny one. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
I was in Long Beach with my girlfriend, it's over home. It was like 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in the Bronx, so I was taking the Northern State back.
Yeah.
And I pulled alongside a Mustang. I don't know why. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, but the Mustang, I pulled alongside him.
Yeah.
And he waved his hand forward, go, go, go. So I go. So we start racing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And we hit over, and then we stopped.
Yeah.
And then I pulled up to him, and he pulled his badge out. And then he just started laughing. He said, no, I go.
Yeah. Wait, so it was a cop that you were racing?
Yeah. But, it was safe. I guess, he wanted to race.
Wow.
Who
won?
It was pretty cool,
Who won?
Never forget that.
Wow.
He started laughing. He said, no, go.
And what, you had a Mustang? Or
no, he had a Mustang GT. I had a Trans Am GTA.
Oh, you had a Trans Am. He had a Mustang. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had a GTA.
I'm sure those things fly.
Yeah.
Jesus. Hey, Chip, I got to take my bottom of the hour break. Thank you for hanging in there, and thanks for that story. All right, it's 4:30 here on Another Side of Midnight. We come back to talk to Mike, we'll talk to Robert, and we'll talk to James right here on Another Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm dwelling on how I got to tell my daughter, honey, you're going to take your test on Monday, and this guy that's been teaching you and you think is a great, great driver and safe and whatever, I got pulled. Oh, that's humble pie. I will be having humble pie for breakfast today. I will, and I got to do it, and I got to do it, and I got to do it, and I got to do it. I just got to do it. I got to pull off that Band-Aid and just be honest. Hey, I had the conversation with both my daughters that I'm a sober alcoholic. And you know what? In each case, they were very cool. I was really grateful. I was just going to say I was proud of them. I was grateful. Neither of them went in any kind of weird, which unbelievably mature. My 13-year-old. You know what my 13-year-old said to me when I told her? Of all places, it was perfect. We were walking through Las Vegas. It was, and I told her and she said, "Wow, okay, no, hey, good for you, man." That's how she talks to me. She talks to me kind of cool like that, kind of funny. Hey, man. Like, she'll come downstairs in the morning, go to school. She'll go, "What's up, bro?" "Hello, sir." She'll say, "Hello, sir. Good morning, sir." Like that. Funny kid, very funny kid. Both my girls. But each of them was really like just nice about it. If that's like supportive. A 13-year-old teenager girl is whose life is like dancing and boys and girlfriends and stuff and makeup and skincare and doing her hair. And she told her dad, "Wow, good for you." And she like kind of dapped me up. She like, put her hand out and like gave me 5. How cool is that? Thank you, God. That's the blessing of being sober. That's the gift. If you're listening right now and you're hearing us talk about this, and we're not going to make this like the whole be all end all of everything. But if you're hearing this and you're wondering why would you even begin to try to get well if you think you have a problem, right there. That's the gift of sobriety. That's the gift. That's the blessing and the promises. That you come out it does not have to be this way. If you right now are a mess and you know it, if you're a mess and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a mess and you know it, clap your hands and know that it doesn't have to be this way. You can absolutely be well. I promise you. I promise you. 1-800-848-9222. Let's see. Robert in New York. Thank you for hanging in there. Line 4. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Mille Fulcher, as I always wish you.
Hello.
1,000 welcomes. Now,
nice.
You mentioned F Troop very quickly. I think of all the series,
yes,
because I'm a specialist on the American Old West and Frontier, I thought that series was a hoot.
It was.
My favorite character was Sergeant O'Rourke with O'Rourke Enterprises.
Yes.
I thought that the way he managed Captain Parmenter and Wild Eagle, I mean, it's just a series that I'm still laughing.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I called was I want to recommend a book and a movie to you.
Okay.
The movie, if you've never seen it, is called Dancing at Lunasa. Lunasa is one of the 4 Celtic important wheels on the Celtic or especially Irish calendar. Lunasa is August 1st. And this is a movie that takes place during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
It involves 5 sisters in rural Ireland. And the music is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Nice.
And I think it's worth your watching. Now, the book, and you mentioned you have a 13-year-old daughter.
Yes.
This is the kind of book that you should read to her as often as you can and let her read.
Okay.
It's a novel.
All right.
It's called The King of Ireland's Son. What it is, the author is Padraic, spelled Padraic, Colum,
right,
who was a member of the Irish literary movement of the late 19th, early 20th century. What this is, it's a novel, but it's 20 interconnected Irish folk stories, and the language is marvelous. Now, before I go,
yes,
because I have to get ready, I'm taking off for a jaunt across the country to some music and good stuff.
Lovely.
Here's a little anecdote that'll give you a chuckle.
Yes.
I heard this, as a matter of fact, up in Whitehorse in the Yukon at a festival I attended. It was a little swap. And a fellow says, I want to tell you something that I heard in Edinburgh.
Okay.
In a pub.
All right.
A group of guys are in an Irish pub, and they're arguing, as usual, who got to America first. And one guy says, now everybody knows it was Christopher Columbus. No, another guy says it was not. It was Leif Erikson. No, it wasn't. It was St. Brendan the Navigator. No, it wasn't. And finally, a guy in the back, an old grizzled guy, says, you're all wrong. He says, I'll tell you who got to America first. My Uncle Casey told me. Your Uncle Casey? What is he? He was fishing off the coast of Galway one night, and he hadn't caught anything, and finally he was about to give up and go home in frustration when his line gloms onto something, and he pulls, and it's very heavy, so he thinks he's caught a whopper. What he's actually caught is a wagon wheel. The rustiest, biggest wagon wheel you've ever seen. And everybody in the pub looks at the guy and says, what does that prove? Uncle Casey proved that there were Irishmen coming to America by road before Noah built the ark.
Beautiful. Oh, Robert, thank you. And safe travels, sir. Oh, that's lovely. May the road rise to meet you on those travels later today. Thank you, Robert. 1-800-848-9222. Chris and Bethpage, line 2. Talk to me.
Hey, TJ. Very interesting subject matter. So about 9 years ago, I was at my high school reunion, and I'm 62 now. So back then I was 53.
Okay.
And a lifetime of drinking and driving, you know, just from the time I was 17, and figured I had everything down pat, you know. I would drive. I knew when I was really drunk and I had to drive home, I would always say to myself, just drive in the right-hand lane, go super slow, just focus on the road. So I did that, was coming home from my reunion, driving in the right-hand lane, looking straight ahead. Unbeknownst to me, there was this big, a car wasn't parked right on the right side of the road. It was halfway out onto the road. And boom, I smacked right into it. Airbag goes off. Boom, I didn't even know what hit me. Jeez. Next thing I know, the police officers are waking me up. And I'm like, what the hell? I had no idea what was going on. So, of course, I was arrested. Spent 20 hours waiting for my wife to come and bail me out.
Oh, boy.
But what a humbling experience. So I had 2 young kids at the time. So I had to go through the whole process of, getting the breathalyzer put in my car.
Right.
Now, you want to talk about a life lesson? I used to drive my son and his friends to basketball practice and everything.
Right.
And then that breathalyzer thing would go off because you'd have to, blow into it when you're driving.
Wow.
So,
in real time. Okay.
In real time. So my son was so embarrassed. He was 11 at the time because his friends were in the car and the thing would go off.
Sure.
And I'd have to blow into it. So, but you know what I did?
What?
I took it as a life lesson.
Yes.
I told those kids, I go, don't ever do what I did. This is what happened to me.
Yeah.
And they were cool with it, you know? And
yeah.
I'm just saying it was a real wake up call because boy, and you said the reason I called is because you said it there before the grace of God. Yeah. You know what? When I was waiting in jail and waiting to hear what was happening, I didn't know if I hit somebody. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know if I killed somebody coming out. There could have been somebody coming out of that parked car. And luckily nobody was. But all I kept saying to myself was, dear God, if I didn't kill anybody, I'm going to like straighten myself up. And I'm not going to lie and say that I've stopped drinking since then. But one thing I never do is if I go out with my wife or whatever, I drink seltzer water and lemon and lime, and that's it. The only drinking I do is in my house when I know I'm not going to drive. And plus, I told my kids, they both can drive now.
I was going to say, they're older now, right? Yeah.
They're older now. But you know what I told them? I said, guys, if you're ever at a party or you're drinking and, just please call me. I don't care if it's 3:00 in the morning. You call me. I'll come get you. And not only I'm not going to be mad at you, I'm going to be so proud and happy that you asked me to come and get you. And that's the lesson I've told my kids. And, I just want to throw it to everybody out there, too, that, that's what happened with me.
Chris, thank you, brother. Thank you for your testimony, and I'm glad that you got square there, and that it turned out the way it did. Good for you, brother. Good for you, and you taught a great lesson to your kids as well. So that's awesome. 1-800-848-9222. Boy, this has just been one driving show tonight on all different facets of this side of the law and that side of the law. It's 4:45. You know what? We'll take our quarter of the hour break. And when we come back from that, we'll speak. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't talk to Mike in Carolina, and we'll talk to James in Brooklyn about driving. And then we will hand it off to Liz Radabali, who is preparing, as we speak, the 5 a.m. newscast. And and then tomorrow we got a great show lined up for you. Got a bunch of cool topics, some interesting stuff. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some First Amendment stuff. Also, because it's a growing issue in the UK that's starting to affect things here. There's a woman over there who just got out of jail. She served 31 months in jail for a tweet. 31 months in jail for a tweet. And she's going to be talking to President Trump next week. There you go. Trump knows what's going on over there. And we sure as hell don't want to catch that cold here when it comes to free speech. Anyway, so that'll be tomorrow night, a bunch of other stuff. In the meantime, we're going to continue our conversation about the law and driving. And in this 4 a.m. hour, we always talk a little bit about sobriety, at least. So we shall be right back here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick on 77 WABC. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:50 here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick. Hi, here on 77 WABC, Talk Radio 77 on Another Side of Midnight. I'm TJ McCormick, and I'm telling you to call me 1-800. See, I tell you, for 3 hours I could do that. Oh my goodness. We've got James in Brooklyn, line 5, Hey, James, save me from myself, James. Save me. Talk.
Let me start off saying I drove upon a time out in Montana. I mean, I got a driver's license and Job Corps. I was able to find a car for $200, another one for $300. I was driving around Butte, Montana.
Wow.
Upon a time, because ordinarily basically rent an apartment, take a job. I could, minimum wage back in the 1980s. You could still afford a basement apartment,
Jeez. Sounds
great. To listen to the way you told your story, driving throughout the 48 states,
yes, sir.
Sounded very exciting.
It was wonderful.
But the current situation we're in today makes me wonder, does driving, practically as a life experience, I mean, throughout your life, apparently, would you might agree that it can compensate for other things that you find that you must submit yourself to, like COVID mandates, and presently the submission, I believe, from listening to Donald Trump, oncoming martial law, the takeover of the police forces, like they're doing in Washington, D.C. I mean, did you see that scene? J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth were just standing there kind of smiling, maybe laughing as Stephen Miller went on about the protests going on outside Union Station in a very negative way.
Right.
I think there's an argument can be made against this program that's going on, but I think we're just, I don't know, are we going to submit to this, or is it necessary? I don't know, because you don't know who they're going to be pulling over,
Yeah, that's interesting. Look, you'd like to think. You'd like to think that they've got your best interest in mind, right? You'd like to think that when the government does something, that they're doing it in an earnest desire to keep everyone safe. And for way too long, Washington, D.C. has been a mess, and it's gotten more and more lawless. And, it seems to be the carjacking capital of the East Coast. For some reason, carjacking is just still all the rage amongst the bad guys in D.C. And look, we'll see if he goes and tries this anywhere else. But at least in Washington, D.C., is the only federal city in the United States. And so it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, but based on a couple of things I heard this week, Washington, D.C., this is actually the idea of federal agents being on the streets to help enforce the law is actually kind of the way Washington was originally conceived. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I could have sworn I heard that this week once or twice. But now, look, it's been a mess, and hopefully they are doing it, everything within the law. And, it's been a long time since Chicago's been a safe place to live. Let's see. Let's get over to Mike in South Carolina. Mike, good morning there, buddy boy.
Good morning, buddy boy. Always good listening to you, TJ.
Always good. Thank you.
The last segment, I'm driving 54 years. I'm 71 now.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't stand people who drink and drive.
Yeah.
It happened to me once. I had my first car, a 68 Camaro. Okay, I was never a big drinker, but I was a little tipsy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, frig this. I pulled under the trestle Long Island Railroad, and I just, camped out for like 2 hours.
You slept it off.
I slept it off. I'm coming back. I would go to OTB at Oceanside, Long Island, off-track betting once in a while.
Sure.
Play horses, small bets.
Right.
There was a guy that would go in there all the time, retired Nassau County cop, always with the rosy cheeks. I'm going there rim shot. I'm going there one day. He's leaving. If I don't look to my left, like I always do when the light is green, he had a red light. He blew right through the light. I see him the next day.
Right.
In the Dunkin' Donuts early in the morning. I said, hey, dude, John, hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, you blew the red light. No, I didn't. Hey, do me a favor, man. Don't tell me you didn't. You almost T-boned me. Why don't you get a chair under a shade tree or a comfortable chair in your house?
So he was lit. He was lit.
He was lit.
And he was lit. And he was a police officer.
He was a retired Nassau County cop.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I said, you must be stunad. You must be really stunad. And speaking of stunad, I'll leave you with this.
Yes.
I heard him many times, that psycho from White Plains, and you put him in his place.
Yeah.
Don't ever call my show again.
Right.
And he's, I even said, you belong in a straitjacket, man, and you're going to be kicked off for more shows.
Right.
You're a nut job, and you're crazy.
There you go.
TJ.
Yes.
With that, another rim shot. Always good listening. Always good.
Thank you, buddy boy. Thank you there, Mike. I appreciate that. Mike in South Carolina. And Joel is going to bring us home. All right, Joel in Manhattan. Good morning and welcome to Another Side of Midnight.
Oh, TJ, this Drive song, Last Chance, Texaco, Ricky Lee Jones, the mellow one.
What's it called? Last
Chance Texaco. It's on the first Ricky Lee Jones album, and she's got this great Doppler effect with her voice.
Oh, wow.
Song.
Are you in music? This sounds like the kind of song that and the way you described it, you sound like you're either a musician or in the business.
I am in a sort of business acting world, but I don't sing.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a big fan of I guess I'd say I'm an audiophile.
Okay.
I especially like music from the 70s, but from the past. But anyway, dialing back to the time, it's been a while since I've driven, and I'm about ready to get back on the horse again. But I haven't driven since I've been in California. I've been in New York for, I don't know, a zillion years, and now I'm going to need one again. But anyway, back in California, the craziest thing I ever did when I got stopped by the cops, I don't know why I did it, but it was on one of these follow me cars, following along, and I decided to pass up that thing.
Right.
And I got pulled over, and I didn't reel down my window for about 2 minutes, and the cop was just standing there. And when they went for my door, I reeled it down, and I looked at him and said, "May I help you?" And I guess he thought I was a complete freak.
You said to the cop, "Can I help you?"
Yes. And he just looked at me and says, "Don't do that again." And he walked away. I guess he thought I was, insane.
Oh, my
I don't
God.
know why.
What a great opening line when you get pulled over. "May I help you?" That's fantastic. And you got away with it. He didn't throw the book at you.
He didn't throw the book at me. And, that was that. And going back to your other subject for this hour for drinking.
Yes.
I used to, and then I just basically got tired of it. I was getting headaches. I was feeling sluggish in the morning.
Yeah.
And I just gave it up with no desire for drinking ever again. It's like,
good for you.
I'm done with it.
It is.
My life is just too important to live full out,
Yeah. See, and therein lies the difference between an alcoholic and somebody who's just tired of it. An alcoholic, their life is unmanageable, but they're powerless over the booze. You made a choice and you said, you know what? I want to be healthy. It's kind of like, it's like eating better. It's like some people just cut out the drinking. Hey, Joel, thank you. I believe it's the first time you've called. If I'm wrong, thank you for calling again, but I don't think we've spoken in the past. So thank you for calling up and you brought us to the end of the program. I got to jump, but thank you for being there. And thank you all for being there. We did a whole damn show. It's fantastic. Without even looking, we did a show. You made it great, gang. My thanks to Tony and Bill. My thanks to Liz Radabali, my partner, my coworker here, who I was about to take over and give you the 5 a.m. newscast. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, I wish you all the luck in the world.